Hello and welcome to the Blackboard Black Belt Achievement Series, The Cool Communicator, Part 1. This course focuses on the features of Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. Blackboard Collaborate Ultra is a real-time video conferencing tool that lets you add files, share applications, and use virtual whiteboards to interact. It is very similar to tools such as Skype or Zoom, but your students can access it directly from your Blackboard course right inside the browser instead of downloading extra software to join a session. In order to access Blackboard Collaborate Ultra from within your course, simply click on the plus sign in the top left-hand corner to add a menu item. Then select Tool Link. I'm going to name my link Collaborate, but you can name yours whatever you'd like. Make sure that you choose Collaborate Ultra from the Type in the drop-down menu. Make the menu link available and click Submit. Finally, move the link where you'd like it to appear in your course menu. Clicking on the link takes us to the Collaborate Ultra tool window where you and your students can join a session or you can create a Collaborate session. But before we get into a live session, let's first explore some of the options available within the room settings. Let's begin by clicking the Course Room options located on the right side of the screen. Then select Edit Settings from the drop-down menu. First, we'll set up the event details. Here we have the option to give someone access to call into our session anonymously. They will appear as an anonymous caller to the other attendees in the session. Next is the option to have guests access the Course Room session. Click the checkbox to allow guests to access your room. This will need checked if you have a guest speaker or someone outside the university. Under that is the guest role permission. The default permission for guests is participant. Other options include moderator or presenter. The first role option we have is the participant role. This is the default role that your students and guests will be assigned. Users with this role can enable or disable notifications such as when participants enter and leave a session or when someone has posted something to the chat. The moderator of the session determines the participants' privileges. We will get to that shortly. Next, we have the presenter role. This role is designed to allow students to present without giving them full moderator privileges. Presenters can upload, share, edit, and stop sharing content. They can also see hand-raised notifications and can lower hands. The last role we have is the moderator role. This is the role that the instructor has by default. Users with this role have full control over all the content being shared. They can make any participant a presenter or a moderator. Moderators can see hand-raised notifications and can lower hands. They can remove participants from a session, but they cannot remove other moderators. Moderators can set the session settings, including deciding what participants can and can't do. Here is where you can get access to the guest link for the session. It can be copied and provided to anyone who might need access to your room via email, website, etc. This is a great option for having guest speakers in your class without the guest having to have access to your course or having to come to campus. Now let's explore the session settings options. You'll notice the same role permissions we discussed earlier, with the default role for attendees being participant. Next, under recordings, we have checkboxes to allow recording downloads and to anonymize chat messages. Allowing recording downloads will give attendees the right to download session recordings to be viewed offline. Anonymizing chat messages will not show the name of the attendees chatting on the session recording. Under moderator permissions, we have the option to show profile pictures only for the moderator. If selected, participant profile pictures don't appear anywhere profile pictures are seen in the session. Here are participant permissions. These are options to allow or deny certain access to features for participants during a session. They include sharing their audio, sharing their video, posting chat messages, and drawing on whiteboards and files. Next, we have the option to enable session telephony. This allows attendees who may have been having difficulty with their audio to call into the meeting using their phone. Under the private chat settings, you can allow participants to only chat privately with moderators. However, if you want students to be able to chat privately with each other, you may want to select the option to supervise private chats to add a layer of protection and security against inappropriate behavior. The last settings option is to turn on the profanity filter. If someone uses inappropriate words in the chat, these words are now filtered out and are replaced with a series of asterisks. Clicking Save will save the course room settings. The course room is a great way to provide students with a space to practice using Collaborate before scheduled sessions in order to check their access and potentially troubleshoot any issues. However, if you do not want students to have access to the course room, but instead would only prefer they have access to scheduled sessions, you can navigate to the event details and choose to lock the course room. Now that we've gone through the options for your course room, let's discuss sessions. Sessions are essentially the same as your course room, with the exception of the ability to be able to schedule their availability. Let's click on Create Session. First, we'll want to name our session. Under the event details, click the checkbox if you would like guest access. Then decide what the guest role will be: participant, presenter, or moderator. Next, we'll want to set our start date and time. I'll leave mine as the default. You'll notice an end date option is there as well. If you'd like the session to only be available for a limited time, select the end date and time. If you'd like this room to be open indefinitely, check the No End checkbox to have an open session. We don't recommend using the repeat session feature, as it can create a lengthy list of sessions that can become hard to navigate for you and your students. You can also set an early entry if you'd like. This allows attendees to come into a session early to set up their microphone, webcam, and to troubleshoot any device or connection issues they may be having. I'll set mine at 30 minutes. Finally, you can add a description for your session. Let's take a look at the session settings. These are exactly the same as the options for the course room. You'll want to choose the settings that best meet your needs. There is one slight difference in a scheduled session versus a course room. At the bottom of the session settings, there is a spot to allow for a large-scale audience. By default, Collaborate will allow for up to 250 attendees to be in a single session. To have more than 250 attendees, you need to check this box. This will designate your Collaborate session as a large-scale session. Attendees will not have the ability to share audio, share video, post to chat messages, or draw on a whiteboard. This is in order to optimize the platform for the increased attendee size. Now that your session settings are set the way you want, click Save. To leave your session settings and to return to the Collaborate Ultra dashboard, click on the X. This concludes Part 1 of the Cool Communicator course. In the next video, we'll demonstrate a live Collaborate session and walk through all of the session options. See you soon in Part 2.